Joining us now, though, Democrat running for Lieutenant Governor Gene Rossi, calls himself Seabiscuit, which is the famous thoroughbred racehorse lore who came from Off the Pace and was the big closer. Gene Rossi running for the nomination for Lieutenant Governor. 3 people in the race. The front runner in our mind, Justin Fairfax, who we think is going to win. Susan Platt, who just called for the impeachment of Donald Trump, although she's running for Lieutenant Governor. I don't know what that's got to do with anything, kind of a Hail Mary pass. And Gene Rossi, who's been just out there having a good time. And I got to tell you, Gene, your new mantra, you know what it is, Gene? I came up with it this morning when I did my piece, which, by the way, comes out at 7:30 on the Bull Elephant. Here's your new mantra. Let's make politics fun again. Oh. Gene Rossi, in this time of just hate and all this fighting, and Gene Rossi has made politics fun. Gene Rossi has reminded me of why I got into the business, why I love covering it, why I teach it to my children, what America's about. He's run a great race. It's been inspiring, and it's been uplifting.
Wow.
Gene, in a time of all this negativity, sir, you have really been an inspiration to me personally on the trail.
Wow. John, first off, today is the best day of my life, and tomorrow will be even better. I remember this is my 4th time on your show, and I love coming on, and I hope I have 40 more times on the show. But here's why, John. I almost died in 2013, and I told you about it the last time I was on the show. And, you know, that just changes your entire life. I was always a happy guy, but I became happy on steroids. And here's the thing. Last week I had a 3-day trip. I called it my horseshoe tour. You know, Seabiscuit horseshoe. I started at the top of the Eastern Shore. I made 4 stops in Accomack and Northampton. I went to Virginia Beach. I went to Norfolk. I went to South Boston, which, by the way, is named after the Boston in Massachusetts. I went to Danville. I went to Scott County, Gate City, where the Kilgores are from. Went up to Roanoke, and then I came home. And then Saturday, I went back to Chesapeake, and I did the electric slide. It's on video at their picnic. And then yesterday, I had a blast. I went to the Mount Lebanon Baptist Church in Chesapeake, which has about 13,000 members. I gave sort of a quasi-sermon to about 1,500 congregants, and they were rolling in the aisles because I was making them laugh in a good way, talking about the word of the Lord and all that, and I just had a great time. And I got to tell you, I really am having a blast. But here's the thing, John. I don't think I'm going to lose tomorrow. I think I'm going to win because I think it's a jump ball. I really do. Just talking to people, hearing what they're saying. I think, Justin appears to be in the lead, but that's like cotton candy. And it's like the Republican race. There's a poll that came out yesterday, I think it was, that had Corey Stewart ahead by 1 point. Did you see that poll?
That's a ridiculous poll.
Oh, I know, but
Ed Gillespie is going to get 60%
You think so? You think so? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and again, I just want to tell everybody, because I got my predictions coming out in about a half hour.
Okay.
My predictions don't represent my personal choice, who I voted for, who I endorsed. They just represent cold, hard facts based on my analysis. And I'm so accurate with them because I can take the emotion out. And if I do endorse a candidate, then obviously I put that in there because you always have some bias with that. But look, let's get to your race. There's one thing you said that I really agree with. It is a jump ball. I mean, probably 70% of the people voting tomorrow are they've already made their choice up for governor. They're going to get to that second line.
Yep.
It's like, who are these people?
Yep.
And so that puts it in play. I agree with your assessment. Look, on paper, Justin should win this race.
He should.
But what you've done is you have energized people and you fired them up. And in a good way, not in a negative, nasty, hate way. That's why, look,
can I
if
give
you
you a
did
good example,
win,
John? And because you don't go to all the rallies like I do, of course.
Right.
But and my wife Diane is probably one of my best. Is my best friend, but she's a fantastic. Has a great political mind, and she's from Mississippi.
Lovely woman.
Pardon me.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
lovely woman. Went to Ole Miss.
Went to Ole. Oh, well, the entire Deaton family went to Ole Miss. So she's sort of a centrist Democrat, and I, honest to God, I hardly ever bash the president in my speeches. I'll say things about policy, but I don't get that vituperative, nasty comments because I think people don't want to hear that anymore, even among Democrats. Okay, we disagree with Trump. We want to focus on the future. We want to focus on what you're going to do after November. We get it that you don't agree with Donald Trump, but don't spend half your speech telling people he's just a really bad guy. And just focus on who you are, because it's not about who your opponent is, it's who you are. And people are starting to listen to that. And I really, if I come out of this election as a winner or someone who didn't prevail, I've really, as you said, I've been a happy warrior. My integrity is intact. I'm very proud of that. And I got people thinking about a lot of issues, criminal justice reform, the Medicaid expansion, and also my views on public education. And I'm very, very proud of that. And this is just the beginning for me, just the beginning.
You were saying out on the campaign trail, the vitriol out there.
If I repeat myself, I apologize.
Good.
But my wife and I, we talk a lot, obviously. We travel everywhere. But she's advised me, and I agree, that when I go to events, I don't want to spend 4 out of my 8 minutes saying that Donald Trump is just a horrible person, because that they want to hear, who are you, Gene Rossi? What are your passions and what are your principles? Okay, we get it that you disagree with Donald Trump, and there's many, many differences, but don't spend 4 out of your 8 minutes speaking about him. Talk about you. And that's what I've been doing, and I've been getting great responses. I can't tell you, and I mentioned this the last time, people come up to me and they'll say, I'm mad at you. I go, why are you mad at me? Because I thought I was going to vote for Susan or Justin, and now I like you so much, I don't know whom I'm voting for, but I really like you. That's music to my ears, and very proud of that I kept my integrity. I was a happy warrior. I didn't spend my whole life on the campaign trail bashing the president, and I just focused on who I want to be and what I want to do with this state. I'm very proud of that, very proud of it.
Well, you're running for lieutenant governor. You're not running for Congress, so you're speaking to the issues that matter about the position that you're up for. Look, Gene, here's the bottom line. You're a first-time candidate. You've run a great race. Now, you've been outspent. I don't know. Yes. It's a big number, 25, 30 to 1 when you add the other two candidates up, maybe 50. But you've done a lot with a little resources. My only question is, and I know you can't answer this now,
yes, sir,
but should the outcome tomorrow night not be what you had planned? Okay. I just want to be sure you're going to stay involved, because I think Virginia needs Gene Rossi. I think Democrats need Gene Rossi. I think Republicans need Gene Rossi. I think the political conversation, the discourse needs Gene Rossi. So, Gene, I encourage you to stay involved regardless of the outcome. Maybe you'll be the nominee, and then obviously you'll be involved. You'll be on the ticket with one of the two gubernatorial candidates. But either way, I really want you to stay involved.
No, John, first off, I can't wait to come on your show again. That's number one. Number two, I will be involved until I die. I will, because I love public policy. I love the political process. And I heard your intro. I'm a junkie when it comes to politics. I'm the type of guy, I could have fun not only at a Democratic convention, but at a Republican convention. It's like when I went to the Shad Planking, John. I had a blast. Mm-hmm. I had a blast talking to voters. I don't want to talk to people that agree with me all the time. Mm-hmm. I want to engage people that may have disagreements with me on the Second Amendment, on taxes, things like that, because that's America. We don't have to get in a fist fight verbally. We have to talk with each other, and we may not agree, But I want to honor you or the person that's on the other side of the issue by talking to them, and you know, I that's why I love politics. I love it, and it probably goes back to when I grew up. You know, I had my dad who passed away when I was 10, but I had 3 older brothers. We argued all the time, but we still loved each other, and that's America to me. That's America to me, and I'm not leaving, John. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, I'm here. Seabiscuit didn't win every race, John.
Gene, you're going to get a big vote tomorrow. I think, as you say, it is a jump ball in your race. You're going to get a big vote, bigger than anybody expects. And, you know, if you win, like, would I fall off my chair? No, absolutely wouldn't. I mean, I just wouldn't be shocked. I think you can win. I think Platt could win just based on her name, her first name, although I don't like the campaign that she's run, and I wouldn't vote for her under any circumstances. But, you know, who knows?
But you said Fairfax, I want to end with this. You said something the last time I came on that I totally agree with. If the Democrats are truly strategic, if they're tactical, the best candidate whom they could nominate tomorrow would be Gene Rossi. Because
Absolutely.
I can go anywhere in the state and have a conversation with any voter.
Right.
Anybody.
Yeah, and look, you set the example of having a conversation and discourse. You can agree to disagree. We know there's a lot of policies, Gene, you and I are on opposite ends on. Some I'm sure we agree on. But you got to be able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And especially, look, this is Virginia. This is a divided state, all right? Maybe David Toscano picks up 3, 4, 5 seats. You know, if things work out for him, you know, it's a big night. They win 4 seats. Kirk Cox is going to be the Speaker of the House. Done. Okay? Tommy Norment, Republican, leads the state Senate. Done. You know, maybe sometime during the road they flip a seat and it's a tie. Not going to happen. Done. So whoever the governor is and the lieutenant governor is, if the Democrats win, they got to work with Kirk Cox and a almost supermajority of Republicans. They got to work with Tommy and a majority of Republicans. To get anything done, you got to have a conversation, right? You've got to have a conversation with people.
Yep.
And so throwing bombs and calling for Trump's impeachment and, you know, setting garbage cans on fire, running around with, I mean, that does nothing to solve the problems of the state. We have some real issues we have to solve. You can't do that without being able to sit down with people. That's why I'm a fan of Terry McAuliffe's. Now, I know he's partisan, and I know a lot of people don't like the governor, and they go bananas when I call him Governor McGenius. But, you know, the governor will sit down and he'll have a conversation and try to get things worked out.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and he's brought jobs to the state. And, like, at the end of the day, you're looking to bring jobs and to increase the economic opportunity for everybody in Virginia. And I think you've brought a civil dialogue to the campaign, which is like a shot of oxygen. And I appreciate that, Gene.
Oh, you're making my day. But so say hi to Mr. Perriello. He's run a great race. And that's definitely a jump ball, too, the governor's race.
Yeah, he's on next. I mean, we're predicting Ralph is going to win tomorrow. But, you know, the Perriello campaign, it really should get down in the Harvard School of shockers, because from the way he announced it, the way they kept it secret, to the Christmas announcement, to how he's crafted himself against the establishment and against the lieutenant governor, has been brilliant. He's raised certainly enough money to be competitive, and I thought he had a real shot. I thought he was going to win, but the endorsement of the Washington Post last week, the full-throated endorsement of Northam, I think really put Northam over the top. But either way,
well, I did want to add this, though. Last round in 2013, the Washington Post endorsed Justin. Mm-hmm. And I have confirmed for a fact, of course it's too late now, they did not endorse either Justin or Susan.
Right.
And that to me sends a big message that I'm a credible candidate.
Yes.
Because you would think they would endorse Justin, and they did not. They did not.
Yeah,
so.
They made no endorsement in that race, which was surprising to me. But you're right. The fact they made no endorsement has
good
to
for
give
me.
you wonder. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for the underdog. Gene, you got 2 minutes. Give us your closing statement.
Well, as I said in the beginning of this campaign, when you look at people, you got to look at their past, who they are, their passions, and their principles. And my past has been I grew up on a dairy farm and a lumber yard at the same time. My dad died when I was 10. For many years, I was raised by a single mom with 3 older brothers, ran a small business, worked in the lumber yard, driving a truck, forklift, almost flunked out of high school, got my act together because of a Jesuit priest at Fairfield University, turned my life around, and now I teach at Harvard Law School. I'm a survivor along with my daughter. I almost died. Comeback Lee Rossi almost died. And we're survivors. And as I said before, today's the best day of my life. Tomorrow's even better. So I want to take all that experience, plus my experience as a prosecutor for almost 30 years, and focus on health care, public education, and criminal justice issues. And my past drives my passion for those issues and also what I stand for. And I think at the end of the day, they're going to realize Gene Rossi is the best qualified, that we're going to reject identity politics and pick the candidate who can go from Accomack County to Lee County up to Winchester and back and represent the entire state and not just blue counties, and talk to everybody and have a conversation and make this state the best state it can be. It's already great. I want to make it even greater. Thank you so much, John. Thank you.
All right. People want more information, Gene Rossi. Where do they go?
GeneRossi.com. GeneRossi.com.